Oh, there we are. We are live. Okay. Good evening, good evening, afternoon, whatever time you might be. It's Jeff Godless Scummer back again. I've on today a good friend of mine. Hopswatch has kindly agreed to join me. Always a pleasure to have him on the channel. Those who do not know Hopswatch, and I can't imagine why any of you who follow me don't already. The link to his channel is in the description. Please check him out. But I'd say his two of his favourite subjects are beer and Torben Søndergaard, and it's the latter one we're going to be talking about today. So I don't know if you want to just sort of quickly, that was a quick introduction. I don't know if you want to add to yourself there and just tell people what it is you do.
Yeah, well, I'm all about beer, as you said. I do beer reviews, and I've also got a Danish blog. I'm from Denmark, so I'm blogging about beer, vlogging about beer on my channel, and then I'm doing secular activism, basically, mostly about the Danish cult leader Torben Søndergaard, but every now and then also other issues. I do a bit of politics as well. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, now the reason obviously we have invited Hops onto this is Torben Søndergaard, and you know he's kind of hit the news. Now I sort of heard of this guy, I think, before I sort of was switched onto your channel, but I don't think I was quite aware just how fucking batshit crazy this guy actually is.
It's become worse.
Yeah, and it is very much becoming worse. I mean, he's about how long ago? I'm trying to get the time right. It was about a year or so ago. He left Denmark. Is that correct?
It's actually about 1.5 years ago, but it's
Okay.
it's about 1 year ago that he sought asylum in the United States because he thought he was so persecuted in Denmark by the authorities, which he really wasn't. But he felt so persecuted that after he had been in the United States for some time, he opened a case to get asylum. The occasion for it, so to say, his excuse for it, were a Danish law about mental violence, and so he thought that this law against mental violence was directed at him more or less personally. Because of the timing of it, it was shortly after a documentary on the national Danish TV had exposed him as the fraud that he was. I mean, that was the reason why he left Denmark. He was exposed as a fraud in a documentary, and then when some laws were passed, and it was not entirely taken out of nothing. I mean, the issues with faith healers were actually discussed while this law was in the making. So it wasn't completely unrelated, but I mean, in no way whatsoever was the law solely made because of him. I covered that in one of my videos. It was. It happened well underway before it was treated in Parliament for the first time. It was treated in Parliament for the first time after the first episode of this 3-episode documentary. So what he's actually saying is that they prepared the law overnight after the first part of the documentary had aired.
Yeah, I mean, I always find this. It's kind of funny, isn't it, when they're kind of exposed as being frauds, scammers, how they suddenly claim religious persecution. And I think that may be a good segue into the main reason we wanted to talk about him, because he's in the United States and is kind of claiming that again. Now he's holding a big tent revival in Des Plaines, Illinois.
Yes.
He's had some issues over
By the way, you know, I have an Asperger diagnosis, and you just said something that I really have to comment on, because the Asperger shows, especially in languages, it turns out the correct. I understand why you call it deplane, because you know about Des Moines, which is the same kind of name, I would say, but it's actually displanes. You actually pronounce both of the S's. Sorry, couldn't.
No, that's all right. Thanks. To be honest, I'm kind of glad, just in case anyone from Displanes actually watches this now. So that's probably best that you did bring me up on that. Yeah, so he's had this Big Tent revival.
Well, he has, as we speak. It's going on until tomorrow.
Yes, and I believe he's got another one planned in New Hampshire in August. But he's had some issues, mainly with the local mayor of Displanes, and quite frankly, I would have thought was fairly obvious reasons, which was, you know, and they pretty much told him, look, your event can go ahead, but you've got to abide by guidelines around COVID-19. It seems to me that he has got to me, it seems like he had no intention of abiding by that whatsoever.
Yes, it appears just like that. Yes, and it is actually strange because, as you said, I mean, he could go on with his little event there.
Yeah,
but, and he's kind of sort of bringing it on himself, that all the trouble that and the heat that he's getting now, because if he would only abide to the social distancing rules and the regulations of mask wearing, there would be no issue at all.
I mean, no, there wouldn't be, and I mean, to me, I don't see the huge problem. But I suppose what we've got to say about Torben is a big part of his act is faith healing. And also another big part is faith healing, love bombing, all those sort of things. I mean, that documentary that I sat there when we did that watch party on your channel, I mean, it's very, very, I mean, let's be honest, social distancing probably is not something they're into there.
No,
so
you can't say that.
No, and I find it's obviously rather interesting the way, obviously, some of the media's right now. I mean, Fox News seems to have pretty much openly taken his side on this, the way they've slanted this anyway.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, did you see the actual video of him on his own channel? Because I'm going to try and bring that up, and we might do a bit of commentary on it.
I did see it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find it a second. So,
while you're looking for it, you made a very good point, which was that he now feels persecuted and runs with that persecution narrative that made him leave Denmark. And he's been saying over and over again in his videos the past year or so that the persecution that he experienced in Denmark would come to the United States. And he kind of plays that out right now.
Yeah.
Also, to give some context about what is going on in Displanes, what he's doing is he's realizing an ambition he had to make a new revival movement. The plan is to go all around the United States in motorhomes and trailers to preach the true gospel, which is, of course, is his gospel, and so to fulfill scripture, which says that once the true gospel has been preached to the world will come to an end. And this is something that he explicitly stated in the videos about this new trailer park movement that he has going on. And Chicago, he was in Florida earlier on, Florida is one of the states that is worst hit by COVID-19 in the United States. So he goes there, picks up a lot of people from there, goes to Chicago, and kind of, well, spreads COVID-19 in the wake.
Yeah, I mean, so I had another article here from I think it was in the patch.com, and
well, you can go you can go to this YouTube channel. That would be the easiest. It's one of the latest videos. So it's the YouTube channel is simply called The Last Reformation.
Yeah, I've got that. I actually got it. Let me just see if I can pull it up. I'll share this. This is the actual video of him. Where is it? This is the actual video of him kind of getting served with the papers or whatever, telling him what he needs to do. So we'll play a bit of this. So I have to stop it obviously now and then in case I don't, in case he get copyright hits from him or something. But let's just play a bit of this.
Okay, guys, it was the police, as you can see there behind us. Nice guys. Here's the paper. We are fighting an interesting fight right now, and I'll come back to this. Hey, everyone, listen to this. This is so crazy. The police came today with a supplemental order from the mayor to stop us to worship God. The city of this plane outside Chicago.
The thing he said there, there was issued a supplemental order to make them stop worship God. That is what he said, and that is, of course, absolute bullshit. No one is trying to stop them worshiping God. No one.
And nobody at all. I mean, this is the thing. Look, this, at least many of the churches in the United States around the world, many of them do not seem to have a problem with doing like online, virtual sermons or whatever. He was told, and this will come up in this. He's actually been told he can go ahead with this thing. It's just that he's not going to be able to pack in as many people as he wants. That's perhaps something we can touch on in a minute anyway, because it's about the numbers he gets. But let's play a bit more of this.
The mayor have changed the law because of one thing, to stop us. They just want to stop us. They couldn't stop us one way, and therefore he changed the order that was already there and added to this order. So now this order is also for private people on private property, also with religious gathering. This is so crazy.
Okay, there. Now, is there anyone? I don't know if there's anyone in the chat who knows about this. I mean, is there seriously a difference between private and public property when it comes to these regulations? I have no idea.
I don't think. I think I wouldn't know neither. However, you can have public events on private property, and as long as it's a public event, my guess is that then regulations for public events apply, even though it takes place on private property. But I have to admit also, I have to plead ignorance. I don't know enough about American law. I see that Godless Granny says yes. I don't know if that was as an answer to our question.
Ring seems to say as well, he thinks it varies from city to city, state to state, and this is a lot of the time where it gets a little bit confusing, especially to outsiders in the US like us, that there's all these different local and state laws and so on that and that can be, that's where it can get very, very Granny says it is. Never Again says, I'm positive it varies, but not enough to justify what he's doing. Which I'm sure we all agree. This is something we're probably all in agreement on.
I mean, there's always limits to what you can do, even on private property. I mean, just to exaggerated a bit. I mean, murder is illegal everywhere, also on private property. I mean, there are laws that also apply in your house, and it's good that they do. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, he also used hyperbole when he said that the mayor had changed the law. First of all, it's not a law; it's an executive order, you could say. It's a local regulation, and I mean, local authorities can do that. They can make local regulations, but he makes it sound as if an actual federal law or something to the effect of that has been just changed by the mayor. Also, by the way, notice how every time you pause the video, he makes a different awful face. I mean, every time you pause this guy, it's just a new, really, really weird and uncannily obnoxious face.
He's very memeable, isn't he, Torben? Actually,
yes. Now that
I'll just say we're probably not going to get through this entire video because we stopped this like 3 times already, and we're like a minute in.
Listen to
and this is like 13 minutes.
We have a revival meeting here outside Chicago, Des Plaines, Illinois. We have been going on since Friday, 400 or 500 people every evening. We had an amazing time worshiping God. So many amazing things have happened, and we are free to do it. We got our tent permit just a few hours before we started the meeting, and God was just there, and everything worked fine. But you know, there is some strong powers here in America right now who want to stop Christians in coming together. They don't stop riots. No, you can riot as much as...
Should we... Anything you want to say on that? Because he's going to go down there. They don't stop the riots. And you probably find that police did come onto the streets quite heavily during the riots.
Yeah, you would think so. At least in Portland they did. And also other places, So, he uses that narrative. Seems to be his favorite narrative now, to show that they are the persecuted ones, and the police doesn't do anything about the so-called rioters. And by the also completely ignoring the fact that it very often is the police, at least in Portland, that exacerbated the riots, started the actual fighting.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to disagree with you at all. I mean, that's probably another topic for another, because that could be a whole nother stream in itself. So try not to go too far down there.
I'll try not.
No, it's that. I mean, I don't actually disagree. I don't actually disagree with you, but I was that could be a whole stream in itself. It's just what I mean. But he's he's really playing the persecution narrative here.
Very much so. That is not new for him. On the contrary, it actually seems, at least since he went to the United States, it's the persecution narrative that has become the most important part of his religion, basically. It's always about the persecution, and more and more so.
Yeah. Well, let's play a little bit more of him.
You want, without social distancing, without mask, without anything, and no one stopped that. But if you come together as believers to worship God, you are dangerous, and suddenly you are spreading the virus, and you are fault that everyone is getting killed. But if you riot, it's okay. There is no issue. Then we started to worship. We started to meet together, and the police chief and some other people here, they did not like that. The mayor did not like that. A Democratic mayor did not like that.
Let's pause that there, because I think you. Do you want to go first on that one?
It's more of the same, basically. All the authorities being against him, and of course the Democrats are behind him. I mean, it's for about a year. He also has been playing into to Trump's rhetorics pretty heavily. I noticed it the first time when he made an actual, I think it was live. Actually, he made a very short live stream from a Trump meeting that he intended because, as he said, why not? And I had a whole rant in my video where I mirrored part of that, why he shouldn't have done that. But anyway, he's all about fake news. He's all about the Democrats being evil and people being that Christians are being persecuted in the United States. I mean, that whole narrative is very strong with him, and it's more or less copied from Trump's what's the word? From Trump's manuscript. Anyway, but I mean, in one video, I don't remember if you were on that stream when I showed that. I did show it on when we did the documentary. He did say in one video that he actually wanted to baptize Donald Trump.
Good luck with that one.
But he's all into Trump. He really likes him. That's very clear. And plays into his narrative.
I think Hissy had something to say on this on his little narrative. When churchgoers have to wear gas masks and carry dustbin lids and makeshift shields against rubber bullets, and then he can say it's okay to riot. What a wank stain!
Wank stain. That's going to be my new favorite derogatory.
I see. I tend to go wank puffin, but wank stain works quite as well, actually. Well, it's interesting you mentioned dustbins, Hissy, because he's been known to actually baptize people in wheelie bins full of water. So, just a little side note. Right, I'm gonna try to skip a little bit of this. Let's try and find, because what's a bit now. He's actually gets this bit where he actually gets served by the cops, and then he starts praying.
Oh,
for them.
That is so cringy. Let's watch that.
I'll try to get to the bottom where he's
Make sure, and again, I do apologize for pointing out if I did.
Just let it run. I mean, you can stop if you want to, but that's just him discussing. But the thing that I really, the thing that I was actually thinking of doing with this was, I mean, there are those two cops. So the cop that he's talking to right now, and that'll become clear, is, at least as I see it, the more smart of the two. What I want you to notice is, in a bit, one of Torben's people is going to pray for these cops, and the reactions, it's just absolutely hilarious. How the other cop that Torben isn't speaking to right now, how he is handling the prayer, and how the cop that he's talking to right now is handling it.
So for us, it's not like if there was a law by law, because we were thinking, okay, how do we then do it? But for us, it's very different.
I can't help imagining the cop.
I'm just going to pause it a second, because obviously it's only doing this because I don't want him copyright striking or anything like that.
Oh,
but,
right.
Well, you don't know with it. You don't know with these things, do you? But I mean, I'll say this: when I watched this, I was almost hoping I don't know why, I was almost hoping that Torben would go full out sovereign citizen with these cops.
Right.
You know, I was almost hoping it was just because I it's a bit cruel, I know, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind actually seeing the expression on his face if he got tased. Is that cruel? I don't know. But.
Well, you know, Torben is, as I see it, he's too much of a coward to ever act like that. I mean, he and what tells me that is when he suffered the least bit of backlash back in Denmark, he immediately fled to the United States. So his strategy is to not get into too much conflict.
I think,
and see, that is also one of the reasons why he has stayed under the radar for so long, because he doesn't want to attract too much attention. That's actually one of the things that he's actually good at, not attracting too much attention, and being able to do his to perform his activities without being bothered too much. But his strategy of fighting back when there's a backlash is playing the victim. And if it's too much for him to handle, he'll escape. However, what he is doing right now, when he travels around all of the United States, is that he risks, and I think he will act. I mean, he will practically be spreading COVID-19 to new places and exacerbating an already catastrophic problem. And he can do that while practically still staying under the radar by doing these revival meetings, but not attracting too much attention about it.
Yeah. See. Now I believe if it might come up in the video in a minute. I'm pretty sure that he was told this thing could go ahead, but he was limited to 50 people. Now there's been some reports that one report I saw that suggested there's around about 150 people attending this event without masks. Although I'm pretty sure that's not the number Torben's claiming, because I think you touched on this on your stream last night that Torben. Yeah, I mean, okay, he's not the only one who does this, but he's been known to exaggerate his numbers of these.
Especially the number of attendees.
But let's just say it is 150 people. If they're not, only needs one of them in there to have COVID-19, and the way he holds these revivals when it is like hand on hand. Faith healing, casting out demons, all that sort of, he does all of this stuff,
Yes.
And it's all very, baptism scene. He loves dunking people's heads in water.
Oh yeah. So those are perfect conditions for spreading it. Especially when they're wearing masks.
No, exactly, and it's. I mean, there only needs one of them in there to have COVID-19, and quite the way they're doing it. I mean, it's. I mean, it's like the sort of second outbreak they'd had in Australia or whatever. That was only like a couple of people that really caused that, being very extremely irresponsible. This guy's being next level irresponsible and stupid, and with people's lives. I know you can't necessarily just single him out alone for that, because he's certainly not the only evangelist type who's doing that. But he's.
But as I said again, what makes him particularly dangerous is that not many people know about him. More people get to know about him now, because this actually did cause. I guess a substantial number of people will have heard about him now because of what is happening in these planes. So that is really good. Slowly he can't duck under the radar anymore. But the point that few people know him makes him especially dangerous, because if it were, Ken Ham or Kent Hovind planning events like these, everyone would be outraged. Everyone would know about it. But because so few people know about him, he can do that undisturbed.
Yeah. Sorry, it was Hissy just said in the chat there. This thing spreads via water droplets. One person dreamt in is asemitic, and then how many more follow breathe it in? Yeah. So even when just these baptisms and whatever. This guy, right? Let's watch a little bit more of him getting served these papers, shall we?
Yeah.
I have. Okay. So about this, what? That's Jonathan.
Okay.
It's Jonathan.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna say, guys, a very, very nice video.
Don't do that.
No.
We want to be a blessing to you guys, and just so you guys know, Jesus Christ changes hearts.
I hope that cop's got hand sanitizer with him.
So do I.
When you talk
Now
about
he's
in this year, what consequence? Like, what do that mean that you give me a favor face to face? I'm not used to police. I'm not used to this.
You know what? Basically, I don't know, honestly, what the ramifications are. I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume maybe some type of citation, but again.
What is citation? Sorry, my
A
English.
citation's like a ticket.
Ticket. Okay.
But again, don't quote me on that because I truly don't know.
Okay.
I'll be.
And I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything in there regarding ramifications. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong. So.
And again, what we did here is this was just so we could give this to you guys, so that from the city's end,
They know we have it
to
personal.
know that you guys have
Okay.
received it. Yes.
And then, like I said, me and also Anthony, we just ethically, we wanted to actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you don't know if it make it.
It is what it is.
But thank you. We will look into this and we will move on with what we got.
Very good.
Hey, can we pray for you?
Oh, actually, just before we get to that, what he's about to do next, I'll give those cops some credit. Actually, that they were pretty. I mean, the main guy especially, very professional. I could definitely tell the other one did not want to be there. So,
definitely.
But I will give them some due on that, because so unfortunately I've been exposed to a few of these kind of sovereign citizen videos, and I tell you what, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the police at times, by any stretch of the imagination. But if there's any time I could establish a level of empathy with some of them, it's dealing with some of these sovereign citizen types, which is almost.
So could I.
Yeah.
So could I. And yes, I completely agree. These are professional people.
Yeah. But just to explain for everyone in the chat now watching this, they're about to start praying for these two cops, and I'm not going to we're not going to this is a cringe warning, this is a face palm warning. You've been warned here, okay? So take. But
notice that the two cops' different reactions.
Yeah, I might put this full screen in a second, all right, for this, but
sure. Turn up the volume.
It's about as high as I can get it, I think. Let me just check.
On the video.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but.
God, we just want to pray for them. We just want to bless them.
Where's the volume?
You can turn it up.
Thank you because they wake up every morning, God, and they take on the universe.
Where's the damn?
Just pause it. There you go.
Yeah.
Now.
That's muting
on the dot. Just grab the dot and turn it all the way up.
Sorry, hold on. See, I think I've got this. I thought I had this thing all the way up, actually. Let me just exit that a second.
It's on half, you see.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. I don't know why I was missing that. I like to mess about with YouTube's volume for a while. Okay, let's keep this going.
Right. Because they love people, God. And we just want to bless them and support them and thank you that they're not being influenced by all the lies and fears, that they will know, God, that we, the people, is behind them, that we, the people, love them, that we, the people, don't want to disarm the police or put them down, but we want them, we need them, they are sent by you, God. So we want to pray your blessing over them and over their families, and thank you for what they're doing in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
Amen. God bless you guys. Continue what you're doing.
Okay.
So that was the police, very nice people, and we got the chance to pray for them and bless.
Very nice people. They were the nicest people. Anyway,
What is it?
if you notice that,
Yeah.
if you notice the guy that Tom was speaking with, he was kind of during the prayer, he was kind of looking around, pretty uncomfortable with the situation, and the other guy
totally
played along in, I think, in an annoyingly submissive way.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just the details, not that important really. But I noticed that when I saw that.
If people haven't seen his style of prayer and faith healing and whatever, and talking in tongues before, this guy is absolutely cringe. I mean, he's somewhere between comedy and pure cringe. I mean, because you can actually when we did that watch party on yours, it took me a little while because I was trying to understand why this guy's got a following. Just because to me, he just comes off as a buffoon a lot of the time. But I think the problem is, and this is just my opinion. You might not hold this opinion, but I think he genuinely believes his own rhetoric, or at least to some degree he does. Or if not, he's very good at putting that across anyway. Because I think maybe that's why he does seem to attract followers, because he certainly comes across like he's a true believer. But
you see, I've got one of the people that I'm working with. He's kind of behind the scenes. He's one of Torben's former associates who jumped, what do you call it? He jumped the bill. What's the expression that I'm looking for?
He got out basically. That's what you're trying to.
That is what he did. I was thinking of some idiomatic expression for it. Anyways, but he has told me that what is actually happening is that Torben has kind of found his way of doing things, and he just runs with it because it works to some extent. It works well enough for him to have money enough to get along himself and to do his thing basically. However, this is also the reason why his following is never very big. He purports to have a worldwide following, but most of the people that are seen on the map that the Last Reformation has on their website, most of the people are not active anymore. It's just people who have met him and marked that they are on this map, and then they never really do anything else. It's always Torben that it's all centered around. And what is actually happening is that Torben has found out that if he just does the thing that he does this way, it'll kind of work out for him, and he doesn't care about everyone else. So it's not really that he believes in the stuff that he says. He just knows that it will work for him.
Okay.
And so it's more like he's very good at acting and pretending that he actually believes his stuff. And I was fooled by that until recently as well. But you see, it's because he's so practiced in the role that he has that he can also seem so genuine.
Yeah.
But it's not that he's just like a cold psychopath or something, just playing the role because he knows that is what he has to do. It's more like it's a practice that he has been. It's a routine that he has done for a long time, and now he's so well routined in doing it that he knows he just has to carry it on, and it'll kind of generate. There will all the time be a feedback of positive response and money that will make at least him lead a a proper life for himself, but rarely has followers. That also explains why his cult never grows very much. It's more like a group of people that is constantly where constantly there's an influx and there's an outflux, and there's an outflux of monetarily ruined people and mentally ruined people, and an influx of people who really hope this is going to be their what saved them, basically.
Yeah. Right. Play maybe a minute or two more of this, because I seem to recall that he got to a certain point with this where he just started repeating himself. So I don't want to play him any longer than is necessary.
Right.
I got to say, every time I pause this, though, we do capture some damn good facials from him.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah.
It's them, and that is beautiful because they're doing a good job. But the mayor have here supplemented order regarding face covering and social distancing. This is they have added to the order that was already there. And what have they added? That order now is not only public property, but they added private property. So now in private property, you need to 2 years and up wear a mask in private property.
Yeah, yes, Torben, because you're still holding a public event.
Mm-hmm. We've kind of been through this. This is where you repeat yourself.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. So I don't want to keep coming back rebutting the same points with him. And
Nope.
this is where I might stop. I might just pull this to the end, because I've got a feeling he pretty much does just waffle on and repeat himself from what I remember.
Yeah, he does. But there's something at the end, and I actually never watched it to the very end. And he talks about he's in contact with a law firm, and somebody asked me. I think it was actually on. I want to say and just shout it out there. If people want to know what's happening with Torben, go and follow on Twitter TLR Surveyor. That's basically me. It's my account, and that's not a secret in any way whatsoever. However, it's a Twitter account. It's called TLR Surveyor, where I follow Torben, where I post any news story about him, and most importantly, there will always be a pinned tweet about where he is at the moment, or at least where he has a present event or the next event, so that people in that area can be prepared that he comes. So on Monday, for example, I will change it to the location in New Hampshire, where he will be in about a fortnight.
There you go, guys. I just posted that in the chat. So
so it's
So please give that an account a follow.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember he said something towards the end about that he was getting legal representation or something about this.
And I was asked whether he was bluffing, and I don't know if he's bluffing. I mean, he could be, but I would say that anyone who who gets into any kind of legal trouble with this guy, I would act as if he did have some kind of legal backup. I don't think I don't think it is, as he says, a big law firm or whatever he said. I don't think it's that big, because that's again him exaggerating. But I would act, at least if I were in those shoes, as if he did have substantial legal backup.
I would certainly, because especially if I mean, this is the thing with this. He has got a national exposure with this. I mean, we saw the way for anyone Fox News picked up on this, and they very much, just with a headline and everything, kind of really slanted Torben as the victim here.
They did.
it was very much slanted that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, you know, it's going to be quite easy for this guy to probably get money together if that narrative gets out there. There's definitely enough people in the States or whatever who are of the religious right who I'm sure would donate money to help him fight a court case. I think if he could spin that narrative enough. Because
just one thing, I see that the Earth is slowly spinning into its dark zone where I am. So I'll just 10 seconds. I'll just switch on some light here. Just a sec.
No worries. I'll just put the light. Right. Be careful. Be careful with this Earth is spinning thing. You know, it's actually flat, but I haven't had my NASA shield check yet. So,
what's that again?
I just said, be careful with this globe Earth thing. We all know it's flat. It's just we haven't had our NASA shield checks to say it's round. So,
no, I haven't had mine yet neither. So, what a bummer. Yeah. Okay, so I think the most important thing is the last thing I read was that the mayor or whichever authority we are talking about would be issuing tickets of and fines of $750 to anyone who did not abide to the social distancing and mask wearing regulations. And the last thing I read in a local newspaper, it's called, let's just see, because I got it here in a link. It's called Journal Online. It's called outline.com.
Okay.
Has issued a small, a very short article which said that there will be handed out 2 tickets in this case. One to one Jonathan Speckman, who is the president of the campground for permitting the revival to take place without taking the necessary protective measures as ordered by Mayor Matt Bogus. So basically the one who's responsible for the campground where the revival event is taking place. And the other one who will have a ticket issued is Torben Søndergaard. So these are the 2 tickets that will be issued of $750 each. And I mean, I think it's just crazy that is that really all the repercussions that this will have? I think that's crazy because he risks. There is a risk that they will spread COVID-19 to a much larger area than this, and the people that have been participating in displays will now go up and hit the community even harder. As I could understand, this planes was already pretty heavily hit by COVID-19. And this is all that happens. 2 tickets, really.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I'm gonna probably start winding up a little bit because I've made a promise to ring in 1 or 2 of the others who I know are desperate to get their D&D game underway. So
sure.
I definitely want to touch on this. I don't know if you've managed to get a hold of it yet or nothing, but apparently he has written a letter to Donald Trump, and I'd love to know what he actually says. I really would.
Yeah, I would so as well. He claimed he had in a Facebook post, which is now actually taken down. But I managed to get a screenshot of it, and I posted that on Twitter. I'll post it on the TLR Surveyor account as well as soon as this live stream is over. I don't know if it's true, but it very well could be. It very well could be, but I don't think he will get anything out of that, because after all, Torben is not that significant. But again,
No.
my contact, his former associate, did say that Donald Trump really does not like the governor of Illinois, who is a Democrat.
Yeah.
So there is that. Maybe after all, he will catch Marmalade Mussolini, if I can borrow Aaron Rostick's designation for him, which is absolutely awesome.
I love that. I do love that little fun Aaron Ra came up with him.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So maybe he will actually catch his attention, but I don't think he will. He is, after all, not significant enough. Again, it's for him. For him, as long as he goes under the radar, he can do his thing. Yeah. That will provide for him, and that is all that matters to him.
I'll just read something very quickly because I got something from Patch.com where this is covered, and it's on about Søndergaard's claims of facing religious persecution in Denmark, and what is his asylum claim.
That's a good article.
There's a quoted. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologise because I'm probably going to pronounce this very English, and it's probably not how this is pronounced. But Camilla Johnson of Inside Out.
That's absolutely right. That's her name, also in Danish. I know her. Okay,
I thought you might. There's a Danish anti-cult organisation reached out to Pat saying Søndergaard's claim of being religiously persecuted in Denmark. So we want to let you know and stress that this claim is not true, and we do suspect that Søndergaard fraudulently claims he's entitled to asylum in the US, and he's using this position as a leader to coerce his followers to comply and participate in this scheme.
Yeah, Camilla Johnson is an absolutely awesome, activist and a great help to people who have been caught up in destructive cults. I mean, it's absolutely priceless what she has done. That's a great thumbs up to her. I'm proud to say that I have been communicating with her, and I know who she is. She knows who I am. Saying that I know her as such is maybe a bit hyperbole, but no matter what, it's really impressive what she does. The last thing I want to say is, the last thing that I really want to get across here is that I don't think much more will happen in this plains. I don't think that they will be met with any more repercussions for the things that they are doing, for the regulations that they're not abiding to. So what we need to focus about as activists is his next stop, which is New Hampshire. It's New Ipswich, New Hampshire, and I've got the. I can just get a minute or so. I can find the actual address, and I want to appeal to anyone who. Anyone who knows anyone in the New Ipswich area of New Hampshire to mobilize any activists that they know, secular or religious, who are willing to raise awareness about Torben and what he's doing. So let's see. There you go. So the event is they are going to be in New Ipswich, New Hampshire, from the 14th of August till the 23rd of August. And the location will be 105 Lockheed Road, Locke Road, New Ipswich, NH 03071. So that's 105 Lockheed Road, or Lock Road, whichever, New Ipswich NH 03071. So anyone in the New Ipswich area, and that's very, very close to the border to Massachusetts. So if you're in northern Massachusetts, there will be I mean, you should be aware of this as well, because it's right across the border from where you're living. That's really something that you should raise some awareness about, because this guy is dangerous, and he's bringing COVID-19 to New Hampshire, basically, as I see it.
It's, to be honest, he goes on unchecked, being not abiding by any guidelines whatsoever. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly, none whatsoever. He uses it as an excuse to run his persecution narrative. When people are saying when authorities are asking him to wear a mask, his reaction is persecution, or rather, as he pronounces it. Good thing your channel isn't monetized. Persecution. Persecution. That's actually what he says.
It's
awful.
Because I don't really want to mock the guy's accent or his already thing.
You can do it for all I care.
I've said before, he does sound like somebody doing a really, really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression at times.
Right. Well, he claims also to have had a speech impediment, but I said I wouldn't make fun of it anymore because of that. But I have had second thoughts of that. Thoughts on that. When he's doing that much harm, he deserves to have his. All I'd
say about that is, you think he could have sorted that out with some faith healing, don't you think?
Yeah, he probably could, but maybe you can't faith heal yourself. But he definitely could have had one of his proselytes helping him out with that. But apparently that doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's one important thing that we didn't ever get to, which was what were you having?
I'm only on Bex tonight, I'm afraid, but
what's that?
Just Bex, German lager.
Oh, Bex. Oh, right, Bex. Right, because I'm having a local Limfjords porter.
Oh, let's get you full screen for a second.
I had it in my dragon glass. So this is a local beer, a local porter, and it's pretty renowned all over Denmark as maybe not the best stout or porter if you like, but it's pretty cheap, and for the price, it's very, very good, and it's definitely one of my favorite beers from Denmark. Because it's pretty cheap, but it's tasty as hell. Love it.
Cool. That's yeah. So I suppose then, just to sum up, what do you got coming up on your channel? Anything we need to be on the lookout for?
Right at the moment, I think I will be following Torben on his way around the United States and basically do some live streams. I mean, earlier I've been doing a lot of videos which took a lot of editing and production, and I like doing that. But right now, I think it's more important to focus on what's going on here and now.
Yes.
And I haven't had. I mean, I work full time now, so I don't really have the time and the energy to put all that effort into the material that I have done up to now. So I'll focus on live streams, speaking with people, doing activism like that.
Yeah, it's Hops' channel. It is also in the description to this video. If you're not subbed to him already, and I have no idea why you wouldn't be, but please go and give him a sub and check him out.
Cheers.
So I'll just quickly plug one or two things for myself. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. UK time, so it's I'm trying to think. It's about 8 a.m. I think Eastern Standard Time in the United States. But myself and from Hissy's Hideaway, who's been in the chat today, we're going to be continuing our series on the Asterix books. We're going to be doing Asterix in the Cauldron tomorrow. So they're a lot of fun. We quite enjoy doing them. And also tomorrow night, I can't remember the time off the top of my head. It'll be very, very late for me. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be on the iNetwork on the Uncalled For. They've asked me to come on. So yeah, thanks to me for putting Hissy's in there. And I'm just going to have one more thing to shell out very quickly. One Ring. Put that his link in the chat there. He's about to start his secular Dungeons and Dragons stream. They've been doing this for a little while, so I promised I wouldn't go too long with this stream because he's very kindly put their game back a little while to allow us to do this and not split the audience sort of thing. So please go over the Rings channel now once we go off. So, got any taglines you'd like to close with?
Well, yeah, I hope, I'm not absolutely sure because there's been a bit of a miscommunication, but with a little luck, I'll actually appear on Utah Outcasts.
Oh, I love them.
So look forward to that. There's been a bit of a miscommunication. I don't know if we'll succeed, but I really hope so because I'll be so honored to be on the channel. Except from that, I don't have anything more to say than always remember to drink responsibly. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers. All right. See you guys later. Salute.